One of the most important things that we have to do when preparing a presentation is deciding what visuals are we going to include in that presentation. Because the choice of visuals is so wide and so rich, and we have the possibility to choose between pie charts and donut charts and bar charts and scatter plots. And also we have a huge amount of color schemes that we can choose and backgrounds and fonts. It's really critical that we think about what exactly we should use. So in the next videos, I'm going to walk you through some aspects, some points that are important to make this decision in the best way possible. So the first one is going to be if you are presenting or just circulating your data. And this makes a huge difference. So we are going to dive a little bit about what are the different ways that you should pack your presentation, pack your results, depending on if you're going to stand in front of an audience or if you're just going to distribute that either digitally or in a way of a report, a printed report. The next thing that we want to look at is if you are using the right kind of visualization. So if you're using the right kind of chart or the right kind of table. As I mentioned before, there's a wide range of them, and it's important that you choose the ones that make the most sense for the case that you have. Next is what message do you want to communicate? You have to really think about the narrative that you want to build, and the visuals that you have to support the narrative that you're trying to communicate. And we're going to dive a little bit also in aligning the two things, your messaging, your storyline, and also how you're going to present those visuals. The next thing that we have to think about if our visuals truly represent our numbers. There are certain visuals that may lend themselves to some not clear, not transparent communication of results. You have certain bar charts where all bars are normalized that might not be appropriate for certain kinds of presentations. Same thing happens with pie charts. So we want to dive a little bit also into that and give you some clarity, some guidance in what you have to do in this particular case. And last aspect that we want to look at is my data memorable? And this is really important. I recall once I held a presentation where there was, I was talking about some information that was actually deeper inside of the results, and it was not shown in the slides that I had. But I compared this to the mass of ice that is underwater for an iceberg. And after that, I recall that some people came to me and they told me about the slide that I had where I had the iceberg. And I said, no, I don't have an iceberg in my presentation. But it was that image stuck so strongly in their minds that they even thought that there was indeed an iceberg in that particular presentation. So making your data memorable, making that what you're trying to communicate memorable is really important, and we're also going to cover that. So meet us in the next video, and then we're going to cover all these 5 points.